Hello everyone and welcome to the fourth episode in my ExpressJS tutorial series. Now in this video, we are going to be talking about static resources. Now, static resources are generally used for file hosting servers or whenever you need to host files on your website or something like that. So for example, a file hosting server generally is somewhere where you can go online and then you can go to their website and you can type some string of characters for the ID of your photo, and you can get like whatever you uploaded. So for example, this is not the greatest example, but I'm just going to use my site here. So if you go to my site, one thing that needs to be done for this to work is this image right here. This image right here in the middle. If I right click and hit open image in new tab, you can see it's matthewlin.dev/static/media/hero blah blah blah.png. And what this means is my web server, or the web server that hosts my website. First of all, matthewlin.dev, if we recall from the previous episode, I'm actually going to do a tiny bit of recap here. There's this whole app.get / and then we sent something. So that is basically what's happening here. And if you're not familiar with this syntax, I recommend you check out the previous episode. But by writing the app.get /, we're saying anything that comes to the root directory of our website, which is just no slashes. matthewlin.dev is the root directory of my website. Then I could say res.sendFile and then index.html, and that's what I'm getting here. I'm getting an HTML file, something like that at least. But also, what you can do is you can create static resources, which is basically this is a static resource. And you can tell partially because it's in a folder called static. And what that means is anything I put in here, I can access. So let me try to find another image. Oh yeah, like this. So if I inspect here and I try to grab this image here. So as you can see, if I actually look at the HTML here, there's an image source equals, and then it says /static / all this. So I can grab this and say matthewlin.dev/static / and then, or actually static was in it, so /static media fast engine, all that. And you can see that we get the image here just by typing in this URL. So basically on any web server, you can add what's called a static directory, where you can put files inside and then you can access them from your website or from anywhere really. You can just go to you can send a query to this link and then you can download this image from anywhere, even on your own browser. If you go to this link, you can get this image. And you can see how this can be used to maybe make a website where you can upload photos, and then it gives you a link, it emails you a link maybe, like something like this, and then you can access your photo from anywhere just by going to this link. So that's basically what static uploads can be used for. So just to get started, I'm going to go ahead and close these 3 tabs here. And that was just a quick explanation of what file hosting servers are. And the way we actually get this done in Express is using Express static. So just looking here, serving static files in Express. So there's this whole little guide here, but the gist is we come to our index.js file, and here at the, if I'm not mistaken, here at the top, we can type express.static or app.use. So app is this basically is our server object in essence, and then we can say use because the app object has a use function, and we pass to that function the express.static called with the directory of the static that we want. So for example, if I create a static folder like this, I can just say static like that, and now we have a working like static directory. So let's go ahead and grab an image. So test image. Oh, whoops, misspelled image. There you go. So let's just grab this, and let's I actually might be able to drag the image. Yeah. Oh. No. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and save the image. This is anything. Save. And then I can grab the PNG here and toss it in this static. So I'm going to rename it. I'm going to put it in here first, and then I'm going to rename it to, whoops, test.png. So we have our test.png here, and it's a little hard to see on this, but there is the wording spelled out. And what we can do is we can go ahead and test this. So remember in the previous episode, you need to cd into your directory, and maybe you're already in your directory, so you won't have to do this. And then once you're in the correct folder where your code is, you can type node index. Oops. If you can type it correctly, you can type node index.js, which will, oh, right. So what I did is I actually cleared the npm cache. So if you happen to see this folder called node modules, which is in here, let me go ahead and type npm install to re-get it. But what I did basically is I deleted the node modules folder, which is automatically generated back in the previous episode when we typed in npm install express. It created this node modules folder, which is all of the express code. And I deleted that so the function or the code wasn't working correctly. But you can just type npm install with nothing after it to reinstall all of your dependencies. And then once you do that, then node index.js will work. So after doing that, again, I just have to go ahead and copy over this link here. And by doing that, look, we get our little book data that we created in the previous episode. But more specifically, if I go to static/test.png, I think I messed something up. Let me just review this. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the way static works is actually, since I have this folder called static and I passed it here, it actually doesn't require us to name the folder, the public in this case, or static folder in our case. But a way to basically recreate what they did on my website is I could just make another folder inside called static, which I'm not sure if this is how they do it, but this is a way to separate out the static into its own path. So if I go ahead and delete or close this, and then I type node index.js like that. First of all, if I reload here, it won't get it. So I have to do /static/test.png. But just by doing that, now we have a static kind of way to host our files. And then of course we can get multiple images. So let's go ahead and save this image as well, like that. And then I'll drag it into the static folder. So it's called cover.jpg. So again, if I just come here, cover.jpg, and we get our thing. And notice I didn't even have to reset our server. I just added the file and then it adds it and then it can serve it. So we don't actually, this can be a changing folder. We can add and delete images from here, and without restarting our code, it will keep being able to serve these images. So for example, one way would be to do like a file or an image uploading service would be one use for this, where it adds the images here and then you can access them from wherever. Of course, you have to add security and all those things, but at the very core, this is one way that you can approach the problem, which is pretty cool. Now, this was a pretty short episode. I just wanted to quickly cover this topic. In the next episode, we will be talking about various endpoints. So changing, like we have hello. Hello is called an endpoint, and then this is called the root endpoint. And an endpoint just means where you type /something or whatever, how many times, that is your endpoint. We will be talking about adding many of those on a website. So you can see on this website, ExpressJS, there's an n starter static files kind of endpoint here. So we will be looking at that. And then also for APIs, where we can get JSON and stuff like that, we also have various endpoints. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, I recommend you check out the playlist, which is linked in the description. I'm currently uploading every 2 days. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications whenever I post new videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.